Welcome to sportsbookraeview.com. It's Serie A, it's week 10, and we're starting to see plenty of teams that are either running out of gas, they were scoring freely, but now they cannot hit a barn door. But before we go to Alex and Tan to give us all of their opinions and analysis, and maybe updated team news. If you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button, ring the bell. Ring the bell means that we can notify you and you'll never miss any content again. Also, see that thing there that looks like a thumb? If you press it, it turns blue and it shows a little bit of appreciation. And just below that is a link in the description. You press that and it will take you over to the articles wrote by either Tan or Alex or Martin. And there's other writers over there with other sports that we cover here on SBR. Everyone, remember you're our third guest, so get your tips in there. It was a good weekend last week for some, not so good for others. We went with team totals and then they failed to score. And we went with other teams and they got the job done for us. So first of all, let's go to Alex. Alex, Serie A, there's a couple of teams that spring to mind. Sassuolo and Atalanta. Free scoring last couple of weeks, nowhere near it.
Yeah, there are some problems with this Atalanta. Huge problems. I was reading the other day that Gasperini had some internal problems with Papu Gomez, but they seem like they cleared the air and there is no consequence on that. So probably things will get better. The Atalanta attacking players have struggled in the recent weeks, and it's a problem. On the other side, you specified Sassuolo. Sassuolo, wow win against Verona, bad defeat against Inter. It was weird for me to see Inter keeping a clean sheet rather than Sassuolo scoring. Yes, we know that Sassuolo are scoring, but still without Caputo. Maybe they will get him back before the weekend action. We don't know for sure. Yeah, problems with the player left and right. You know, some of them are injured. Some of them are with COVID. Some of them have European commitments. And that is very important too. Most of all in Champions League, because they are not doing a squad rotation. In Europa League, most of the teams are doing a squad rotation. Next week, it will be a huge week for some teams in Serie A. For example, Atalanta are playing Ajax, and that is a very important match for them. To see Atalanta right now in eighth, it's weird, you know, after what they did last year when they scored almost 100 goals in Serie A. It's a weird season overall. We have to be careful. This is why I don't have a lot of selections for this weekend, but I tried to condense the best ones in 3 of them.
Tan, every side that wants to, obviously it's like a poison chalice getting into the Champions League or Europa League at the moment because it's so condensed, and the Serie A sides are struggling in general because they put all their efforts into midweek. Come the weekend, they forget about the domestic plight.
Buongiorno to everybody first.
Buongiorno, Tan. Sorry.
Buongiorno. No problem.
Where is your coffee? Show us your coffee.
Well, I was drinking my coffee. It's not finished yet.
What sort of coffee is that? You want a big coffee? It's about my 5th one.
No, that is not a coffee.
That is not a coffee.
When it is long, it's just a long, dirty water to keep it long as much as you can, but the taste is in the short coffee.
I was sure you would say that.
There are people around me that strongly disagree with me, but I definitely, if you want the taste.
I now have only Colombian coffee in the house.
Mamma mia, that is a very good one. It's possibly that one and the Brazilian, in the way they are toasted, are the best one. The way to prepare it is still Italian, the best one, but Colombian is competitive with that. Colombian and Portuguese is competitive
also
with that.
If different taste, of course, but I also enjoyed the Turkish coffee or the Greek coffee.
Not bad.
I prefer Turkish tea, but we're going a bit off track here.
No, we are not.
We are not.
Football, Serie A and coffee. Football, Serie A and coffee. What else you want to do about that? So to get back straight to what you asked, it seems like they were sipping a coffee, the Serie A teams, It's not exactly like that. Like meanwhile, Vlad Popescu is asking odds on the best coffee in the world. Must be the alter ego of Alex looking at his name. The Champions League midweek, the European fixtures is taking the toll on every team. Also, what is happening is that there are some mid-table teams that are struggling at the moment to get out results. Bologna, Sampdoria, Fiorentina, Torino possibly is no more a mid-table. So this is actually cropping a bit more the table, as you would expect after a while. All in all, 1/4 of the season has gone. So in my opinion, this weekend will be especially about goals. And as Andreas Leimann is saying, who cares about those games? Coffee is the new thing. Exactly.
All right, well, let's see how we got on last week, shall we? Go on, Alex, you want to say something?
Like black is the new yellow, or how it was the reverse.
Orange,
the yellow
orange
is the new black. Orange is the new
black.
Coffee is
okay,
the
and we
football.
must listen.
Coffee
I've not seen
football, right?
I've not seen this name on there before. So welcome to King Jace. He says love from Jamaica. We absolutely love Jamaica. I want to go there and watch a test match, which is obviously cricket. England versus the West Indies. It's on my bucket list. Now let's go with
the last thing I think about going to Jamaica and enjoy is watching a test match. I can think about 10 others entertainment, recreative activities, but not watching a test match.
Very recreative activities.
Parties.
I can't think of anything better than sitting on the bank, nice rum, some nice
Listen
chicken.
to some reggae music.
The parties in Jamaica are fantastic. You've been living in London, God Flash?
Exactly.
Yeah. Have you ever been to some parties in the Jamaican blocks, in the Jamaican area in London?
Yeah, I used to. Jamaican food was probably one of my staple diets: the chicken, rice, and peas. I used to absolutely.
I was invited to a couple of those parties during London 2012, the Olympics. Mamma mia, they do know how to have fun. Fantastic.
Yeah, they do. They do. Well, listen, we know how to have fun, especially moi last week. Went for 4 draws, got 2 of them, which meant just over 3 units of profit. But let's have a little look at the table, please, Fab. This is our records up to date. We're starting to skim it. Alex, -7, but you know that's changing. Tancredi at +1.19 because he's squirrel. Me, I'm just down -3.9 now. 0.3.9. The parlay's still hanging his head up there at +92. And the total's only 5 units, considering how turbulent this first 10 weeks have been. But I have watched so many games recently that I'm starting to think, maybe I'm overconfident, but I think we've got a good handle on some of these teams now. Thanks, Fab. Get rid of that. That'll be nice. And we'll kick straight on to the first game. I'm going to come to you first, Alex. It's Spezia at +500. The draw +330. And Lazio at -150. Not having Lazio's defence, when you've got someone like Immobile in the side, then they're always liable to score. But they had a massive game in midweek. Is it going to take its toll?
They had a massive game in midweek for sure, and I probably that wasn't a penalty, if I can say that for Lazio against Dortmund. What I can say that they have a even massive game next week against Club Brugge. It's a do or die. Of course, they don't have to win that, but they need at least 1 draw. And they are playing against such a difficult team, this Spezia. Yes, you would say 14th, okay, just 4 points above the danger zone, but we are talking about a newly promoted side who, remember, right now they have 19 new players on loan, most of them, 13 of them on dry loan, the other with the option to buy. So you put 19 new players in a team and wait for them to deliver. This is crazy what they did. And let's say that those 3 defeats of Spezia came against top spots of the table, like Sassuolo, Milan, or Juventus. And the draw games came against Parma, Fiorentina, Atalanta, and Cagliari. The one against Atalanta was very impressive because they managed to keep a clean sheet. This is a very impressive team, in my opinion, considering the players that they have at their disposal. They seem like every match is a fight for them. They are fearless. They have a plan. So they are going all in every single game. So combined with this amazing match that Lazio will have next week, this huge game against Bruges in Champions League, I would say that both teams to score in this one should be pretty easy at 1.7.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot believe that you're getting 1.7, Tan, about a side that's just come up playing against a Serie A giant. But the way that Lazio have been defending, you've got to be thinking that minimum 1-1. But do you go bold and go Lazio to win and both teams to score?
No, not exactly. Because too many uncertainties. It's too much at stake in the next game against Bruges for Lazio. And Spezia playing very good. With those premises. Wasn't easy. There wasn't a single game so far in which they didn't perform. Even against Juventus, they lost 1-4, but only in the last half an hour until Cristiano Ronaldo was not on the pitch. At minute 60, they were almost, they were likely to win. So they are making a very difficult day for Lazio. It's interesting what my bro from Dundalk is suggesting. Sean MCK is saying Lazio Spezia, slow start, no goal before 26 minutes at 1.83. It's a very interesting plug. Anyway, to go easier, safer, and not complicating it, I go with both teams to score. And I think it will. Spezia, it is taking a bit to them to find the goal, but then they are always producing football and they find the goal. And Lazio can just let it go as it happened against Udinese. To Mauricio's sorry.
Tan, this game is sandwiched in between two gigantic games. And I'm thinking, don't be scared off with Spezia at plus 500 because the Spezia double chance or Spezia maybe getting +1 is probably the way to go here because Lazio got to have more than one eye on that midweek game next week.
Yeah,
but anyway,
it might be the upset of the round.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I wouldn't go near Lazio to win. I mean, both teams to score okay. But I think all the value
I think that you can go yourself with a crazy bet because you did good with your draws last week.
Yeah, but the draws weren't crazy. I mean, the draws.
No. The draw double chance at 2.35. Draw double.
I mean, exactly. What plus 135 for a side that are playing well, scoring goals against a side who have just been in an absolute marathon match. Now and then they've got a do or die game in the Champions League next week. I think you've definitely got to look at it or leave it. Remember, you never lose anything if you leave it. Move on. Tan, Juve minus 225, draw plus 390, Torino plus 700. I'm not having Juve getting beat here. I'm not so sure about Torino, to be honest. I watched them at close quarters this week. They struggle. They're starting to struggle in defence. Midfield go wandering. And Juve, I said to Juve win to 0 during the week, and they coasted, Tan.
Look, this was supposed to be the game of the week, but since the Derby della Mole in Turin,
like 40 years ago.
Exactly, since long time, this is not already happening, except a couple of times where Torino really put a fight. What used to be the biggest pain in the ass for Juventus couldn't stand until the early 90s this game because they knew what was expecting them against Milan, against Inter, against Roma, big games for big teams. They couldn't stand Torino because it was the working class team from their own city that was playing one whole season in one game. And they always struggle to cope with that. No more like this in the last 20 years. And even this time around, Torino are unbelievably second from the bottom. Just things are not clicking. The manager Giampaolo has just been back from coronavirus and will be in this game. But so many things going badly for Torino, just not performing. Juventus got a lot of things to fix yet. It's still far from being acceptable as a competitive team for the title, any title, Italian or Champions League. But what is different is that anyway, they have 2 or 3 players that can pull out one moment, one magic, one thing that can solve their game. And especially that man that will be on the pitch, not Morata, that anyway is having an incredible start of the season, already 12 goals. If I'm
red carded last match.
Exactly, suspended for 2 games, but already 12 goals at the start of the season. But there is Cristiano Ronaldo. And Cristiano Ronaldo, when he's there, is always scoring, always. And in Serie A, where it's more difficult to open the score sheet than in Champions League, especially in a group where you have Dinamo Kiev and Ferencvaros, is not only putting always his name in score sheet, but always opening the score. And I believe it will be the same thing here. It happened the same with Lazio. It happened with with Spezia. Juventus scored already, but he came on the pitch. 2 minutes later, he scored. It happened the same against Cagliari. So happening again here the same. And Ronaldo to be the first scorer, it's at 3.40. Outrageous odds. Yes.
Okay. Belotti. He's the Ronaldo of this Torino side. I think they're too reliant on him and they're struggling at the back, Alex. So is it Juve and over 1.5 or Juve and under 4.5?
I think that Barcelona is making a great point in this one. Juventus to score in both halves at even money. I think that even without Morata, who Tan said that he scored already 6 this season, plus another 7, plus 7 more goals, but the VAR was in the action, and every time he was offside. So imagine how many goals he should have till now. But I love this bet, both Juventus to score in both halves at even money. I think that the firepower that Juventus possesses when they have Cristiano Ronaldo inside the team is huge. And I mean, we've seen what happened when Cristiano Ronaldo is not on the pitch, like against Benevento. Like when Cristiano Ronaldo is not inside the team, nobody is afraid of this Juventus side anymore. I think that still they need a longer period with their new coach. Still they have some fresh legs like Chiesa and Kulusevski there that they need to give them some more time to gel and make the chemistry with the team. So it's not one of my top picks, but if it was that both teams to score, that Juventus to score in both halves is really good at even money.
Okay, scoring both halves. Also, Ambrose, welcome. Get yourself in the chat a little bit more often. Comes from Macedonia. Been to Macedonia, stayed in Skopje. Very, very beautiful country. Now,
I go to the same hairdresser.
And I don't know what Abdul is saying. Alex, be quick. If you don't like it, you can go out.
Alex, you're just boring him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
but
liven yourself up a bit more. Going on and on and on.
Fly on some other shoulders, not here.
Okay.
I want to say that I go to the same hairdresser of Goran Pandev.
Yeah.
Alex, just for Abdul, I'm going to come back to you. Inter minus 200, draw plus 375, and Bologna at plus 550. Bologna scoring goals. Inter, is this another game where they foul? Because like Lazio, they're sandwiched in between 2 massive games.
First of all, let's say that Bologna ended their 41 matches with conceded goals, with at least 1 goal conceded, let's say. And on the other side, Inter were about to do another Inter in the match against Gladbach from 2-0, I think, 3-1. It was incredible how they were about to get to consider another late goal in the match, but thanks to VAR, thanks to VAR, that was disallowed. I think that it wasn't disallowed correctly. I think that was a proper goal,
no.
if you ask me. Because
No, it was disallowed.
the goalkeeper wouldn't arrive at that ball anyways.
No,
if
it
you
doesn't
ask
matter. Because even if he had a clear viewing when the ball is shot, the rule is saying that there is an influence.
I know that,
There is an
but
influence.
Handanovic was like a statue there.
No.
He was observing the ball going to the net like that.
It doesn't matter. There is an influence if the player in inactive offside is making a movement on the ball. So it had to be disallowed.
So where are we going? Have we got a bet for the Inter game or what?
Yeah, probably we'll see many goals. I think that Bologna are tough side to play against. They are scoring goals. They have a good attacking line. Inter on the other side are coming again after a difficult Champions League match, before another difficult Champions League match. So we have all the reasons to believe that they will concede once again. I don't know whom they will play in the attack, if they will rest Lukaku or not, but I still think that they will probably find the back of the net. And the Alex Classic here should be the bet to take. I don't know. I think it's around 1.7, something like that. It's too low. It's not one of my top picks, but yeah, I'm leaning towards that Alex Classic here.
Yeah, an Alex Classic, for those that are brand new to the show, is both teams to score an over 2.5 goals in the game. And we see that Donny's in the chat. Thanks, Donny. Thanks for your support. Does great work over there on Everything NFL. And if you haven't, and join us on Monday night, because Donny hosts a show with Kyle and he has a certain guest. Just a guest, doesn't get his name on the titles just yet. Not until Donny says he can. So listen, have a great day, Donny.
By the way, 13 in 16 props in NFL for you on Monday night shows?
Yeah, it's no good. It's no good. You have to win them all.
It's not good.
No, you have to win them all. Tan, do we see both teams scoring here? And are you happy with the Alex Classic as well?
They are good. I'm more happy just to be safer with both teams to score. But anyway, Alex Classic is very likely even in this. As Alex mentioned,
1.8, by the way, are the new odds for the Alex Classic.
Tan, do we not see the same as the Spezia game, that Bologna are a great value at 5.50 and they might get a double chance here or a +1?
It's a bit more difficult. It's a bit more difficult because for all the reasons that you can, but it is possible. It is possible. I still tend to lean though to both teams to score Alex Classic, because Alex mentioned the 41 streak consecutive games conceding that has been halted probably by the fact that I lined up the Bologna goalkeeper in my fantasy football team finally. But that is going to restart.
By the way, how many games from now on you reckon they will start conceding again? They will break the record, or
No, they won't. I don't think they'll break the record, but they will do. But very few will be the ones where they won't concede. And I think in this they will concede. And Inter, we know it's almost, against Sassuolo was so weird, so unusual that it has to be an exception. So both teams to score, Inter squeezed in between the fixtures. Bologna that are always playing good. Always going to play for the game, never speculating. So
yeah, and obviously this is at the end of a massive schedule. They've played, listen, this is week 10. This will be this week will be the 6th game in Champions League. That's 16 games.
Yeah, but wait. It's not the end, because you probably didn't recall or didn't check, but on 15th of December and on 20th of December, there are 2 midweek rounds in Serie A. So this is ending only on Christmas table.
But what I'm saying is, though, Tan, this the end. Next week will be the end of the Champions League, and then it's all focus. It's just massive. I think that we're going to go on an unbelievable run when we know, because everything that we do is based on consistency. You're not going to get consistency when one team then has to go to Azerbaijan, they have to go to Hungary, and then come back in, and they have to listen. They need to get into a settled formula. I wouldn't be scared of any of these. Bologna +550, Spezia +500, because if they lose or they just draw this week, then listen, they've got till March after this week to repair it. Okay, moving on. I'm happy to go with this one, though. Verona at plus 115, draw plus 270, Cagliari plus 250. I've gone with the draw in this game, and I think both teams score. So look at 1-1, 2-2, or 3-3, Tan.
It could be very leveled. Before I forget, just before I go into that, Mauricio Scalera is asking, Buongiorno, Tan, your jerseys from 2002 World Cup, the best Italian squad I've seen in my life. No, I know it's very tight and looks like that 2002 Italian squad, but this is Napoli. Scudetto badge, Coppa Italia badge of that time. As you see, the Buitoni iconical sponsor, and behind the number 10, the round number 10 of Maradona. Verona Cagliari.
You moved your camera. You moved your camera.
I love this. I love this.
Some people were happy with only seeing half of Tan, though.
I know, but this is already the second time you do this joke. Are you expecting a teddy bear to be gifted at the third time you say the same joke every time the camera is moving? Just to know, so I can
listen. If it's not broke, don't need fixing, does it?
Both teams to score in Verona Cagliari. As I said, this week looks to me really a lot like plenty of goals fixture. Also because the defending is getting more loosey, more than for the attacking virtues. Cagliari still missing Cholito Simeone with coronavirus, but they considered that 2-2 against Spezia, that probably is burning to them. Verona is quite more relaxed with their table position. They are the first of the others. After the top 7 teams, there is just them. And so they can play for the sake of playing, not just being extremely, extremely compelled to squeeze a point at all costs from this game. So I see a little bit more relaxed attitude, and so goals to come, both teams to score.
Alex, I can't split them. I've gone with a draw.
You did good, and
thank you.
To be honest, Verona has the first chance here because not only Simeone but also Godin, also Nandes, also Pereiro are missing from Cagliari there. But yeah, the draw in this match looks good. Interesting stats between these two teams. The last 15 competitive head-to-heads between these two teams had either team win by 1 goal and not more than that. So we never seen 2 goals difference between these two teams in the last 15 matches, which is a good thing for your draw, to say it like that.
Yeah, I mean, if they can't pull away, then obviously anything can happen, especially with VAR, especially with teams. And I find that these teams that are in mid-table or just above the relegation, they get very nervous and they drop deeper and they invite pressure. And that's why we see so many late equalisers, because teams have got nothing to lose and they're just happy to chuck the ball in there. Quite impressed with this next one, Alex. It's Parma plus 110, draw plus 260, Benevento nobody's falls at plus 250. Gervinho gets a couple of goals, but the thing is with Parma, and I had them in a draw with Genoa, they were never really in trouble at any stage and always looked dangerous going forward. I'm wondering if they've flipped the coin now after a couple of wins in the last few weeks.
Yeah, a couple of wins, but those were one in the cup against Cosenza, not a very impressive win there, and the other one was against Genoa, 19th place in the standings right now. So I'm not impressed with this Parma side. On the other side, I'm impressed with Benevento, to be honest. They delivered. Okay, it was also Juventus' fault because they underrated Benevento. And okay, it's not like they cannot say to us that, oh, we didn't have Cristiano Ronaldo. Really? So what? Now you will excuse yourself with Cristiano Ronaldo not having him, and you will not win against teams like Benevento that 3 years ago, you were beating them 3-4-0 every time you're catching them. So no, it's not. That is not an excuse. Benevento are performing, are having the same plan, let's say, that Spezia has, but in a low, I think that in the same way. I think that Spezia and Benevento are at the same level right now. I don't know what to say with Parma, but to be honest, I would rather go with, I don't know the odds on Benevento right now, but I think that they are huge underdogs, right? Plus 250. So draw double chance on Benevento, probably at 1.8. I would go with that, to be honest.
Yeah, don't say that because I've gone with Parma straight win, the same as Raymond Reddington. Go on, Raymond. You know what you're talking about as long as you're agreeing with me. Tan, Parma score every week. They're like Cologne of the Bundesliga. Will they get 3 points this weekend?
No, I'm not sure. And I wouldn't go with the outcome of the game because Parma have been efficient to scoop away points when they are facing sides that are not in form. Benevento looks like in form. Definitely they are confident. Possibly could be a bit more relaxed after blowing with Juventus. They totally deserve the result there. But the thing is that I believe that Inzaghi, the Benevento manager, than Liverani, the Parma manager, I believe he will be pushed to get more, much more than would do Parma. So while Parma could actually set for a backtracking game, maybe splitting, I don't think that Inzaghi will set in that way. So I think that due to Benevento, we will see the game opening, and I go with both teams to score with that, and it's part of my top 5 picks.
Yeah, well, part of my top 5 is Parma, and it was very close to being my absolute banker. What do you get out of this next game? Because this is one crazy game. Roma, minus 155. Draw, plus 335. And Sassuolo, at plus 340. Sassuolo score every week. They score 2, they score 3. Twice in the last 3 weeks. Duck egg. Naught. Alex, can we trust them?
It's really difficult. I think that we should skip them till we see them back on track with the scoring. They have the skills, they have the quality. The skills and the quality are still there, and the spirit of the team are still there. They're still just 5 points behind AC Milan leaders, third in the standings there with 18 points. They lost just one match, and that was one match was against Inter. It was a direct fight for that second position, who enter now Inter right now are in second position. I don't know. I think that we should expect goals. I think that Roma should try to bounce back after that heavy defeat against Napoli. And we'll see an entertaining game. Normally, in normal condition, this should be the most entertaining game of the week in terms of goals.
Yeah, this is what I said to you. Can you trust Sassuolo? Because Roma have been quite solid at the back. I know they got done 4 last week, but definitely emotional circumstances took over there. Tan, how can we go with an Alex Classic with a side that failed to score 2 out of the last 3 games?
Totally Alex Classic. Totally Alex Classic. Over 2.5 goals and both teams to score. It's unbelievable that they came out from those 2 games from the last weekend with 0 goals scored combined between 2 and 7 conceded. So you can imagine that they must bounce back both. It will be easier for Roma to bounce back because even if they play today in Europa League, but they are already qualified, they have all the team available. It's Sassuolo that must recover a bit, and probably they will recover Caputo, even if it's not clear in which capacity. But you can consider yourself 1 game off, and that happened against Inter. Definitely not 2. You might lose, because you can lose in Roma, obviously, but you can completely mark absence with your performance. So Sassuolo will be back in the game. Over 2.5 goals and both teams to score. Actually, the odds on this are not even that high because it really seems to be announced.
Okay, well, obviously we're going to be doing the 2-team parlay. And when we do the 2-team parlay, I think I might just put forward to the boys, Just Roma straight win, don't complicate it. Another game next, and I'll tell you what, there's quite a few sides that we're saying, can you trust them? Tan, Udinese plus 250, draw plus 265, and Atalanta at plus 105. Listen, in recent weeks, they've only beaten the Liverpool reserve side.
Reserve side, well, half were reserve side, or maybe 1/3 reserve side, and still in Anfield Road. And as Bill Shankly used to say, in Liverpool, there are two teams. The Liverpool team and the reserve side of Liverpool. So still is a very big and good one.
You think they took credit out of that? Because obviously the performances either side, the sandwich, the bread, have been poor.
Where, in Liverpool, you mean?
No, Atalanta. It's a Serie A show we're doing, Tan.
No. I thought you said the performance in Liverpool was anyway poor.
No, that's been their only positive.
Look, it's every game basically has counted for Atalanta in Champions League. The only one that didn't count was this one against Midtjylland, because whether they would win or draw, it wouldn't change the nature of the final conditions on last game, where in Amsterdam they just need not to lose to be qualified. But anyway, it's going to be hard. But there is something that is more worrying about Atalanta. Not only the fact that their journey has been interrupted in Serie A, winning, losing, drawing. But what happened in the last game with Papu Gomez, that was taken off at the halftime by Gasperini. And it was taken off not because of the poor performance, but because he rebelled to some tactical indications.
Gasperini he didn't stay on the right side there, and he moved the position.
Gasperini said, go play on the right side, and he said no. He literally said no. And Gasperini at the halftime said, you stay off. Apparently, they also argued in the locker room, and so the player wasn't back on the bench after halftime, not even to watch the game. And look, this is sometimes can happen. But when it is happening with your captain, and your captain, the captain at Atalanta, Papu Gomez, it's a completely different kind if we compare all the other captains of the big sides, because he's embodying the total idea of football of the manager. He's exactly the alter ego of the manager on the pitch. He's completely the soul of the team, of the journey that Atalanta had. So could be a very worrying alert. We'll see in the next week. But actually that is going also with other signs that we have picked of Atalanta facing maybe their most uncertain moment in the last 5 years. I see a slow, difficult start at Udine. I don't know if they can recover. Udinese, we know how difficult and boring they are to play. But anyway, it's getting hard for everybody to handle them. I say a draw at the halftime.
Yeah, tight game. Alex, you know all about Atalanta. What is going on? I accused them of being gassed out a few weeks ago, and they go and keep a clean sheet and score 2 at Anfield. But then they look gassed out again.
They looked gassed out when they should have killed that Midtjylland side. 1-1 is unbelievable what happened in that match. They looked like not necessarily Serie B team, but I don't know, from a team that are fighting relegation in another, not even in Serie A, but I don't know, the internal problem, like Tan mentioned, I mentioned also at the beginning of the show with Papu Gomez, that seems to be clear. They are coming in front and they're saying, okay, we cleared the problems, but you don't forget something like that so fast, When you have an argument at halftime in the dressing room and your coach is screaming at you, or you are throwing words to one another in front of other people, in front of your teammates, you cannot forget in 2-3 days. You cannot say, you cannot look the coach in the eyes the way that you were 2-3 weeks ago when the problems didn't exist. And this translates on the pitch. This translates on the teammates. This translates on the results. It's important for Atalanta to qualify further in Champions League, but I don't see them winning. I don't see them doing that, because I think that Ajax are too strong right now for them. But we will talk about that on Monday. Udinese have a clear chance, to be honest, to win 1 point from this match. I love Atalanta, and you know me. It's one of my favorite teams, and it will remain one of my favorite teams. But Udinese at draw double chance at 1.8 seems like a steal, in my opinion. Yeah, it's not one of my top picks. It's just a lean, but I think that the value is on Udinese. Everybody on the chat is going with Udinese. Zdina is going. Barsaman is going. Udinese draw double chance, and both team to score at I don't know how much he said. But
Udinese draw no bet is at plus 144.
Yeah, Vlad Popescu said that also. Barsaman at 2.45. Udinese and both team to score. I don't know about this both team to score, even that I don't know, because Atalanta, Muriel is like I don't know, both Dufan Zapata and Muriel forgot how to score. I don't know, their consistency in front of the net. I think it's absolutely dreadful right now. The international break affected them badly.
Yeah, it did.
Badly. And they return to their club and they're performing like crap. So yeah. I cannot trust Atalanta right now. Sorry, but I cannot do it.
No.
Also, before Champions League, such a crucial Champions League match.
Yeah, they need a positive reaction. I go against a little bit what you said, because they're men at the end of the day. You shake hands, you look each other in the eye, and you're all meant to be rowing in the right direction. Now, if we see that this is an overhang this weekend, then it could linger on and something will definitely break. So for me, I hope that Atalanta perform. But obviously, if everyone's on Udinese or Udinese draw no bet, then I'm going to be cheering that on, because I can't get involved.
Also, let's mention a little bit about this Europa League. We filmed it on Monday. You can go back on the SBR YouTube channel. You can see all the shows that we filmed, and it's there just 4 hours before Europa League kicks off. So maybe you want to take a look at
and also, Alex, Danielle has been on every single time he types. It's Tan, can you be on the Europa League show? I need you on Europa League show. Have you not been following the Europa League show? Martin has given you a parlay every single week. And again, if you press the link in the description on Europa League show, that'll take you over to his article. And by the way, more parlays, more winners. Absolutely killing it. Okay? So me as a manager, I can't bring Tan on when I've got a player scoring 3 every week. Tan's on the sidelines, he's just warming up, but he does Champions League, he does Serie A, he does Bundesliga. Otherwise, I might as well have Tan sitting here doing my job.
Also, anyway, let's mention that Arsenal versus Rapid Vienna today will have fans. Yeah,
but not many of them.
Yeah, like 2,000, but still 2,000.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Crotone plus 750, draw plus 400, Napoli minus 255. As soon as you've got the Napoli shirt on, I'll come to you then, Tan.
Look to me, Napoli, open way, more or less open way. Obviously, the odds on Napoli to win are too low, so I would go more with Napoli half-time, full-time, because obviously Napoli-Roma was a different thing. All the atmosphere after Maradona morning, Insigne that scores with a free kick in Maradona style, and it's not something that he's doing usually, because he was, I think, some 4 years he was not scoring in that way. Then Fabian Ruiz that scored, I think it was Fabian Ruiz that scored, dribbling 5 Roma players as Maradona would be. That was a chapter aside. Let's not taking as something that is common and usual. But it is what Napoli needed, a big performance against a big opponent to find back their certainties. Crotone, poor bastards, because they're actually trying to play every week, but the level of Crotone is just too low compared to the others. And I think that it's what they will try again, but possibly they would fail again. So I say Napoli be ahead at halftime and full time. Let me thank also Mehul Pandya. I think he's from India. Tanya, great. And let me thank Daniel for what he said. I thank like the players that feel good in a team and they receive a request from another team and they say, "Oh, I'm very honored to receive a request from another team." Just that. Don't want to harass anybody.
And if you ask the manager to do an interview after the game, he'll just say, "Tan's lucky to be even getting a shirt." Okay, so Alex.
The funny thing in this whole story is that Tan doesn't realize that we are a team and there are different competitions. So
why I don't realize? Why I don't realize this?
So you didn't receive an offer from another team. You received an offer.
Yeah, of course. But I'm saying.
No, I know the analogy he's using.
Yeah, I'm saying like I'm good where I am. I think that of course I realize. Otherwise, if I wouldn't realize, when I saw the messages, I would pick up Daniel messages saying, "Oh, Daniel is asking me to be in the Europa League show." If I was not a team player, please, Flash, you were a team player. Tell me that I did the right thing.
Okay, well, before I go to Alex, Joseph Gomez has wrote two things in there. Very soon to the first one. Not a chance ever in your lifetime for the second one. Okay, so everyone in the chat can read that and see. Crotone, Napoli.
You owe him a date? You owe him a date?
No, that's the one that's never happening. And the one before that, very soon. Alex, Crotone, Napoli.
Date with Lee Martin, he says. So Lee Martin is our host for UFC and for some other stuff. So yeah, date with Lee Martin. Crotone, Napoli. Yeah, Napoli found their shape. It was neat. I think that the sad news, how sad it was, very sad for everybody, and most of all for Napoli. It came at the right moment for Napoli as a team. I don't know, but this made them stronger. This is sometimes it's good something bad to happen. Of course, that nobody wishes for that to happen. Most often when someone dies, but for Napoli it happened something great. They are again a team, and they showed that against Roma. And the fighting spirit that they showed that in that match was unbelievable. Yes, they have a match today away against AZ Alkmaar, but Crotone seems to be too little for them right now in the form that they are. And yes, I think that Dan used the correct words and when he said about Crotone, poor bastards, you know. I mean, they are trying, but only 6 goals scored. Because I mentioned also in my article, them, Huesca, Sheffield United, and which was the fourth one in
the Bundesliga?
German, in the Bundesliga.
Arminia Bielefeld.
No, Schalke. Okay.
No, obviously, yeah. What, all 4 teams not to score?
No. Imagine that the only 4 teams in the top 4 European leagues without a win so far this season. And unfortunately for them, they are hosting Napoli in the wrong moment. So Napoli and under 4.5 goals in the match at 1.72. It will be tough for Crotone to find the back of the net, and I don't think that Napoli will try to destroy them. They wanted to destroy Roma because it was under those circumstances, but I don't think that they will try to destroy it.
I like team total over 1.5. I think Napoli win to 0.
That is a parlay one. That is a parlay good one. Team total over 1.5 at the end of the show.
Thank you very much. I knew that I was here for something. Next game, Sampdoria plus 350, Alex, draw plus 300, and the mighty Milan minus 125. Don't complicate it, Alex.
No, I'm not complicating it. 1.8 for Milan all the way. I love the team spirit. I love the energy. I love everything about Milan right now. The consistency. I love Çalhanoğlu. I love Rebic. Hopefully, Leao will come back for this match. We don't know 100%. Of course, they will still be without Ibrahimovic. Let's see today how much they will rotate the team in Europa League. But their main focus right now seems to be the Italian top flight league to end this Juventus domination. It will be tough. We are still just 9 rounds in the season. So another, how many? 29 rounds to be played. But 5 points difference is not a little. It's great. And if they can keep this, their form and this, everything what they are doing on the pitch right now, very reliable, very good. This is one of my top picks, 1.8 for AC Milan against a shaky Sampdoria side.
Okay, first of all, let's go back to Gaza Wilco saying that Sheffield United are better than any team in Romania. Listen, we have been supporting Sheffield United from day one because obviously Tufty is in charge and a lot of my friends are big Blunts fans. So,
but I don't understand what that has to do with.
Well, he's just saying to you, you're Romanian, you don't know nothing.
Okay, we don't know nothing on the pitch.
No, not we, only you.
Yeah, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. And,
no, leave it at that. Sometimes it's best to say nothing, Alex.
Okay. Gaza, thank you for telling me that Sheffield United are better than.
See, I told you, calm.
You are right, my friend. They are.
When you go fishing,
they are far better. If you can compare yourself like Sheffield
Alex,
United in the Romanian teams, that means that you will go back to Championship. Bye.
Alex, I knew you couldn't leave it. It's like you throw that rod out now, and he actually talks the fish into biting, and he gets them back on the bank. Gergo Krakow. Hopefully you're not smoking a cigar sitting in the bathroom. Remember, we've got Bundesliga coming up in a couple of hours. Tam, what do you think? Milan, don't complicate it.
A few things for you first. Was Alex like this even before I was joining the shows?
Oh yeah, but you bring out the best in him.
Or did I trigger him with my presence?
Yes, no, you brought out more personality.
I had that suspect because I always do that effect. Second thing that I wanted to tell you since a bit of time, but now definitely because this +5, it's the largest Milan advantage at the top in the last 9 years.
Oh. And, if only we'd thought that this was a possibility like 4 or 5 months ago. If only like someone had been able to say, listen, I think Milan at the side, you know.
If you shut up, it's exactly where I'm pointing. I'm bringing this presence of honoring, of tribute to you, because actually, even here, medias are not taking that much seriously, saying, okay, but sooner or later that is gonna fail and everything. Stay with the ends, stay with the something will come on those ends. I don't know what, but something, well, I will leave something on those ends. But I have to ask you, how come that you were so sure with Milan, with Milan pointing them as favorite? Because what I'm saying, let me finish.
Here, Tan.
Wait. Let me finish first. Because could be that Milan won't win, but at least they are being competitive at least in the first half of the season, and nobody foresaw that. And you were so sure, and me and Alex were absolutely sure you were wrong. So my question is, how were you so sure with that prediction?
So before anyone says that a broken watch,
the third eye
is always right twice a day. I watched Milan intensely and I saw movement off the ball. I saw a hunger to close teams down. I saw a positivity that when they got the ball, they looked forward, they looked to hurt teams. And I just saw a team full of hunger. Remember, I think they went 9 games unbeaten after the lockdown. And I thought, I tell you what, the confidence you can see growing in the individuals, and you've got your ringmaster at the top, which is Ibrahimovic, and all the other players are happy for him to have that mantle, and they have bought into it. And now they're just growing and growing. Home or away, they have a confidence that they can win football matches.
Can I ask you, did your experience, because sometimes you are very right, sometimes you are very wrong, for example, about Lukaku. as all we are. But can I ask you? No, but
he had to point also something wrong. Not everything to be right.
No. But for saying that if he would be the oracle, we would just get the heck out of the show and leave everything to Flash. But his prediction was so on point and so unpredictable, to be honest. I want to ask you then, here is the journalist that jump in. There was something from your previous experience, from your experience of a football player on the pitch, so not as a punter or as a football lover, but from a former football player that you saw particularly that match in what you saw in Milan and that brought that prediction to you?
Yeah, I tell you what, and the other side that I see have got this at the moment is Chelsea. I see that Chelsea have got this at the moment. At home or away, they think they can outscore teams, outpass teams. And I just look at it and go, wow, a little bit maybe like Leicester, but with a little bit more craft.
Wow, yesterday was Giroud. Wow. And they won.
But again, they played against a dead duck yesterday. I mean, I said on the show earlier on in the week that even though you could see it being a draw, I really think that Chelsea at plus 160 was the way to go because they were dead on their feet last week against Huesca, and their squad is starting to look a little bit threadbare. So
because guys, here we joke and everything. Flash is great lad and easygoing, but let's not forget, Flash was playing in the golden years of the 90s in Premier League. He played against the most incredible players that were in Premier League. So easygoing and everything, but hats off when you see someone that got.
Well, let's hope it's hats off, Tam, because we're going to the next game, and it's going to be my absolute banker, and I'm going into the well. Fiorentina minus 130.
Yeah, but I didn't say my prediction. I didn't say my prediction on Sampdoria Milan. Yeah, but anyway, I was praising you until now.
I know, but you know what I'm like. I'm not interested in praise.
Okay, listen, no one does. I won't complicate it, and it's Milan to win. Just too much determined, and Sampdoria have been not totally reliable in their offensive production, and they are lacking goals. Milan so focused, and this seems one of the game that can put in the bag. It's not at the moment.
What I've seen over the weeks is that all three of us are going with the same prediction. You should fade us.
Yeah, I'm not going with Milan. I don't bet Milan. And anyway, listen, Fiorentina, we've got to be quick now.
Thanks for saying when I am saying the prediction, not when you are saying it.
Fiorentina minus 130, draw plus 285, Genoa plus 385. Genoa in a right old tangle, Alex.
Genoa, I think that Fiorentina should win, should finally win a match. You know, they didn't do it against Benevento when we expected them to do it. They were far inferior against Milan. Kessié was already about to make it 3-0 in the 40th minute, but he failed to score that penalty. In the second half, Milan didn't play it like in the first one. It was more like a positional kind of game. So Fiorentina created a little bit, but not very impressive. But right now, it should be time for Fiorentina to bounce back after against a very, very bad Genoa side. It's not my top picks, but one of my top picks. But I will cheer for you. Probably you have Fiorentina in this one.
I've got Fiorentina all the way. Tan, Genoa, I saw them the other night. They looked lifeless, toothless, and they were massively disjointed. So cue the 3-0 away win.
Same as Fiorentina. Two of the less attractive team to watch at the moment. Vlad Popescu is saying something that I endorse. It's not the first time today with Vlad, with the Count Vlad. I would go for blow at the halftime at 222. Very anemic teams. Definitely. Both very scared, especially Fiorentina, that will not even have Cesare Prandelli on the bench because the just arrived manager has been found with coronavirus, so he could not train the team properly this week, and he has just started to train them. So both very traumatized by the last results. One of those games they play so poor that one episode can decide it. But for this reason, I say myself draw at the half time. I also said Aubrey Griffin for St. Anne the Magician, and to Dono7, who is asking whether if Milan or Napoli for Scudetto. I said at the beginning of the season Inter, and
Schalke.
I hate who is changing the prediction outside of the possible time of changing, like when I changed for Schalke. So I stick with Inter.
Listen, don't worry. Everyone can join us in a couple of hours, and I'm sure that Schalke will get a mention. Fabian, can you put up the picks, please? Here we go. Alex's picks. He's gone Milan, don't complicate it, -125. Spezia, both teams to score at 135 at home to Lazio, and Napoli to win and under 4.5 goals at -135. Tancredi's picks. Here he goes. Madness. Cristiano Ronaldo to score first at +240. Inter, both teams to score at -175. Squirrel.
Wow,
Roma,
those odds have slashed. It was
Roma,
higher.
Alex Classic at -150. Parma, both teams to score -175. And Milan, don't complicate it, at -125. Now, I've gone with a bit of value for a change. Parma to win, +100. Fiorentina, -130. Verona, draw as they host Cagliari. And Juventus to win, and under 3.5 goals at +140. I see a nice 2-3-0 comfortable game. What about Napoli, team total, over 1.5, and Milan as our two-team parlay?
I love it.
Do you love it, Tan?
What is exactly about Napoli?
Schalke to win.
No, what is exactly about? You said over 1.5 goals.
Yeah, Napoli to score twice.
I would prefer. No. As a banker, I would say. Roma? I would more say Inter Bologna, both teams to score.
And I would say also Spezia Lazio, both teams to score.
Well, you want both teams to... Okay, that's what we do. I've been ruled out. We're going to go both teams to score, Spezia and Lazio. Both teams to score, Inter and Bologna. Alex, you find out them prices. We'll put it up on the parlay. Put it in the chat so everybody knows. That's our two-team parlay. Now, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. It's been great. It's been plenty chat. Press a thumbs up on the way out, please, because we've got 47. Maybe like 40% of you have put the thumbs up, and yet you're saying how much you enjoy it. Don't even worry about
40% is great.
Sorry?
40% is great normally, you know?
No, not great. Not great.
No great? How much you prefer?
No, we want more.
Much?
Okay, so listen, also...
Bonus for Meul Pandya, who's asking a League 2 prediction. My prediction, I won't watch it.
Okay, press the link in the description. That'll take you over to the articles wrote by Tan and Alex and Martin. There'll be parlays over there. Have a great weekend, everyone. And coming up in a couple of hours, we have got the Bundesliga. But in between that, we've got the college basketball boys. And remember, later on today, the NFL boys, who are almost like the American Tan and Alex. They're bonkers, but they get the job done every single week. That's Donnie and Kyle. Until then, I'll see you again soon. You take care.
Take care. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Arrivederci.
Well done.